what I love that Andy is we've got your influences from Dylan and all this kind of stuff, but you've quoted the Prodigy, and that's what I'm loving about this.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
I've thoroughly enjoyed this week so far. It's been amazing chatting to so many incredible musicians across the county, and we're doing some more of that right now. We're catching up with Andy Robbins. Morning, Andy. How are you, mate?
Morning, Rich. You good?
Yeah, real good. Thanks so much for joining us today. I've got questions. I'll let you introduce yourself, but I've got questions about your music. But I'll let you introduce yourself first and what you're all about.
Okay, I'm Andy Robbins. I'm a songwriter I live in Wantage now. I'm from Harwell, which is a tiny little village near Didcot, but don't get the two confused, it's I've been writing songs for years and years now. I've been with a record label in Tame now for coming on 8 years. So I've been releasing lots of music over those years, and not for the last 2 years. There's been no releases for 2 years. So I'm looking forward to. I've got a new release coming out next Friday. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Oh, how exciting! I mean, that's super exciting. The question that I wanted to ask you, because you described yourself as kind of like American folky sort of blues influence. Now, a little bit earlier on the show, we kind of had a folk band called Magpie Lane, and they were describing themselves as more British kind of folk. What's the kind of difference? This is me playing dumb or what? What's the sort of difference between the American style and the English style? Because it's quite sort of pronounced, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there is differences. To be honest, I couldn't really tell you, apart from maybe the accent you sing in. I don't know. I don't really sing in an American accent, but it's like the whole vibe, I guess. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but I'm more to Bob Dylan than Bellowhead, for example,
I mean, it was funny. That was an exact quoted band from this morning that Andy mentioned from Magpie Lane, who said, "Yep, Bellowhead. That's our influence. That's where we go from." Don't
get me wrong. I think Bellowhead are great. I'd rather listen to Bellowhead than Britney Spears, for example. But I couldn't really tell you the difference. But I love like Neil Young and Bob Dylan and those kind of wordsmiths almost. And I've never really been too into like the British side of folk. Well, until quite recently with Frank Turner. He's very folky. I love Frank Turner. So yeah, maybe.
Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting the kind of paths that people take that you kind of go, oh, I'm more interested in that and interested in that. It always fascinates me. So interesting enough, we're sort of very excited to play the new single. No music for 2 years. Is that a creative thing? Is that a life thing? Is that what was the kind of the bits and bobs between it? 2 years. Were you itching to do something?
Yeah, I was, but we just come out of the pandemic. I had all these songs to write, and I recorded all of these tracks with in another place, and I wasn't really happy with how they sounded. And I thought, well, maybe it's best to, instead of, you want to kind of put your best foot forward a bit, I think. And because I wasn't really happy with them, I said, oh no, we'll go re-record somewhere else, and we did, and I'm happy with the result. But because of that, it's taken some time. I started recording again in October, and now we're in July, so it takes time, I guess. And yeah, it just takes time. There wasn't a plan for a 2-year gap, certainly. No.
It's amazing, and sort of credit to yourself as well for kind of not being satisfied with things. I know a lot of musicians are perfectionists, and we've spoken to people throughout this week who have kind of gone, as long as the song is great, I'm not so fussed about the musical side of things, because it sounds a bit rawer, it sounds a bit more real and what have you. But to kind of go and put yourself, time, effort, money, all of those things that it takes to do and record beautiful music, and to come away with it that's something that you're not proud of, it's a big decision, isn't it? It's a bold decision.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't happy with them. I feel like the label weren't happy with them either. And I thought, well, the last EP I'd done, if I'm completely honest, I don't think it was my best work. So I wanted the next bit the next chapter to be quite good. So I thought, well, I've got to up it a bit, and it didn't cut it. That's the truth. It wasn't good enough. So,
I guess it is those harsh realities sometimes that you impose on yourself as a musician to go, actually, this needs to be better. This, the stuff that's out there at the moment, this needs to be better. You're constantly like that, whatever job or something that you're in, doesn't matter if you're a musician, you're kind of going, actually, I need to be better. I need to do this. Absolutely fascinating. So interesting stuff. Really, really pleased that we've got to play this new single, and so happy after 2 years as well that we've got something as well, which is great. What's the summer looking like for you, sort of gig wise? What's happening?
It's very busy. It's very busy at the minute. So as well as writing my own songs and doing those shows, I also play like in bars and pubs and festivals doing covers and that. So I think it's the busiest time since the pandemic. Actually, I'm gigging all the time. It's always busy, but it's good because it keeps me out of trouble. It keeps me focused. So it's good to be busy. And I'm playing at a local show in Oxford Saturday. I'm playing in O'Neill's in the evening. I probably won't be playing too much of my own music. I'll probably be playing Sweet Caroline and Wonderwall. But
I was going to ask you. Okay, right on the line here. Your favourite cover to do and your least favourite cover to do.
Okay, so my favourite cover to do is probably something like Riptide by Vance Joy. It's quite modern. Lots of people know the song. It's got a nice vibe to it. It's not overcomplicated. My worst cover, I get asked for Wonderwall at every gig. I love the song, but when you just play it over 100 times a year, it gets old. I love it, and I'll listen to it if it comes on the radio, but repetitively playing it,
I can see Andy on the screen here. You can't quite see him. He's definitely zoned into an area where he's literally strumming Wonderwall and just staring into the distance at the moment. I can see it now. Brilliant stuff, Andy. It's been so great catching up with you and chatting. I'm so happy that you've got new music out. Tell us about Long Gone. Tell us about why we've got this song right now.
Okay, so Long Gone, I feel is probably the best, in my opinion anyway, the best track on the new EP. The EP is called Resist. That's out later on in the year, and I feel like I want to put the best song out first. This track, it's about it's that moment in a relationship before it ends. It's coming, and it's the writing's on the wall almost, to quote Prodigy. But but it's not quite there yet.
What I love that Andy is we've got your influences from Dylan and all this kind of stuff, but you've quoted the Prodigy, and that's what I'm loving about this. Brilliant stuff. Andy, where can we find out more about you? Where you gigging, all this kind of stuff?
Instagram's probably the best place. Facebook, I try and update as much as I can, but Instagram will be my go-to place. Everything will be on there if you want to have a look.
Brilliant stuff.
So you can find all my music on Spotify.
Superb, and we will do it as well. We're glad you're back, mate, and this is a brilliant song. This is Andy Robbins and Long Gone on Get Radio on BAM Week.